They call it gold. We call it survival. Buried beneath our feet lies the wealth of nations. But for decades, that gold has fed foreign banks and not African bellies. Contracts signed in air-conditioned silence while our children dig with bleeding hands. Permits that last longer than governments. Profits that vanish across the oceans. And all the while, Africa remains rich in resources, but bankrupt in power. But in one corner of the continent, a different wind is rising. In Burkina Faso, a young man stood up and said, "This is our land, this is our gold, and it will build our future, not theirs." His name? Captain Ibrahim Traoré. And what he just did with Burkina Faso's gold industry, no precedent in Africa has dared to do in the modern era. This isn't just policy, it's a blueprint for sovereignty, a warning shot to those who still believe Africa is for sale. For too long, African gold has been a one-way ticket out of the continent, dug up by African hands, flown out by foreign jets, and turned into wealth that never returns. The story is old, dusty, and shameful, but Traoré just rewrote the script. Burkina Faso is no longer giving out golden passes to foreign corporations with over 50 years permits and zero accountability. The new rules: no more half-century leases, no more ghost royalties, no more full access without full respect. Under the new mining code, Burkina Faso will now automatically claim 15% free equity stake in every new mining project. It reserves the option to purchase another 15%, giving the states up to 30% ownership without begging or borrowing. It shortened permits durations to avoid permanent looting masked as business partnerships. In plain terms, if you come to dig, you build with us, not off us. Traoré understands something many African leaders pretend not to see: that permanent contracts in a temporary world are traps, and that mineral wealth without political control is just colonialism with paperwork. He didn't just change the law, he changed the tone. And now every country must contribute a national mining development fund, which will directly finance schools, water projects, health systems, and local infrastructure. No more begging donors for what's already buried under our feet. Let me say it slowly. They used to take our gold and leave us the dust. Now they leave a share or they leave completely. For decades, Africa was the mine and Europe was the factory. We dug, they processed, we sweat, they profited. The cycle ends now. In a move that should echo across every African capital, Burkina Faso has broken the dependency chain by launching the construction of its own national gold refinery. No more sending raw gold to be purified in foreign countries. No more relying on external labs to tell us the value of what came from our own soil. From now on, the gold stays home. It gets refined home, and its true value builds homes here on African land. Let's be clear, this isn't just about minerals, it's about power. When you control the value chain, you control your destiny. That exactly is what Captain Ibrahim Traoré is doing by forcing international companies to process part of their output domestically and require them to reinvest 20% of their royalties directly into local infrastructure like schools, clinics, water systems, and roads. This isn't foreign aid, it's foreign accountability. But basically, a new state-owned company, SOREMIB, has been created to consolidate control of major gold assets and take over projects where companies fail to meet the new standards. That means if you underpay, abuse workers, dodge taxes, or disrespect the people, the state takes back control. Simple. Burkina Faso isn't just mining gold, it's mining dignity and refining it into national sovereignty. sovereignty, because gold that leaves the land without feeding the people is not wealth, it's a curse. For every gram of gold that leaves Africa without documentation, a child goes to sleep hungry. That's not poetry, that's policy. In Burkina Faso, illegal gold exports weren't just draining the economy, they were fueling terrorism. Smugglers ran gold through secret channels. The profits? Well, guns, chaos, shadow wars, and every ounce that disappeared helped destabilize the very country that birthed it. But Traoré's government said enough. Today, small-scale export permits have been suspended, and a new centralized gold buying and refining system is being built to choke off the black market. The goal is simple: make it harder to steal gold and easier to build schools with it. Now, local miners are being encouraged, not punished, to bring their gold to official refineries where they get their fair prices and national recognition. In return, Burkina Faso gets transparency, taxation, and the power to track every ounce that leaves its soil. Now, let me say it slowly, right? Security starts with sovereignty, and sovereignty starts with knowing where your resources are, who controls them, and who benefits. Foreign generals may whisper that Burkina Faso is using its gold to protect the junta regime, but the truth is louder. Burkina Faso is using its gold to protect its people from hunger, from wars, and from dependency. They're not just building terrorists in the bushes, they're fighting them in the boardrooms, they're fighting them in the gold fields, and they're fighting them by saying this gold will not sponsor bullets, it will sponsor black progress. It's a weapon of dignity, a tool of resistance, and the currency of rebirth. Traoré's reforms aren't just about money, they're about redefining Africa's leadership, and no more permits that last longer than the people issuing them. No more foreign hands pulling strings behind closed doors. No more begging for aid while sitting on billions in buried treasure. This is about a generation standing up barefoot if they must, to say, we will not die digging riches for others, we will rise building wealth for ourselves. The new gold refinery is more than infrastructure. It's a symbol or a statement that Burkina Faso will refine its own destiny, not export it raw and pray for return. And through SOREMIB, the national mining body, the state now has power to seize misbehaving companies, reclaim lost royalties, and consolidate gold assets under local control. This is what economic sovereignty looks like. Not just talking Pan-Africanism in speeches, but writing it into the laws. Traoré didn't ask for permission. He didn't wait for applause. So to the rest of Africa, the question is simple. Are we watching or are we learning? Because if Burkina Faso, landlocked, under pressure, written off by offshore agendas, can stand up and say, this is our gold, what excuse does any other African nation have? If a 36-year-old soldier can break the mold and start building real systems for future generations, then what are our elders doing with your power? We've had enough heroes in suits delivering speeches. It's time for leaders who build foundations in silence and deliver freedom in bricks and policies. And to you watching right now, I appreciate you, from Accra to Atlanta, from Nairobi to New York, right? The question isn't just what will Traoré do next? The real question is, what will you do where you are? If you believe Africa deserves more than broken promises and exported wealth, then share this video. Let the world see what's happening when a nation reclaims its gold, its dignity, and its direction. Don't just be a witness to African history. Be a voice. Be a builder. Be a soldier of truth. Subscribe, comment, stand tall, because this generation may be the one that stops digging for others and starts building for ourselves. Let them keep their offshore agendas. We'll build sovereign nations. No, let them keep their foreign agendas. Let me repeat that. Let them keep their offshore agendas. We'll build sovereign nations. And one day we'll build a sovereign continent. Africa is rising. Will you rise with her?